Hello and welcome back. It is I, Gomi, and we're going to be breaking down the fight I'm actually most excited for in UFC 280. A lot of people are talking about Islam, Oliveira, Yan, O'Malley, TJ Aljo, but for me, I'm most excited about this lightweight potential should be #1 contender fight. Not #1 contender because Volko's in the mix, but honestly should be Beneil Dariush versus Mateusz Gamrot. This is going to be a lightweight fight against two ultra talented fighters in the division. That's just why this card is so good. It's not a casuals delight, it is a hardcore delight, because this is a fight, an insane fight that we're getting in this division. This fight is going to be telling us a lot, honestly, about the future of the division, because like I said, when Mateusz fought Arman Tsarukyan, this is the future, and now we're seeing it. So let's break it down. Beneil Dariush, he's going to be 33 years of age, a 21 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 5 KOs, 8 submissions, 5'10" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 72-inch reach advantage, and he's going to be the underdog. I'm not gonna lie, when I first was looking at it, he was actually the favorite, and it's now reversed. Mateusz is now going to be the favorite. Then we're going to be looking at Mateusz Gamrot from Poland. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I might have a little bit of bias considering he's a Polski. He's going to be 31 years of age, a amazing record of 21 wins and only 1 loss, 7 KOs, 5 submissions, 5'10" in terms of height, also southpaw stance, 70.5-inch reach disadvantage, but takedown average 4.83. That's good, but he has a pretty poor significant strike accuracy, especially considering Beneil Dariush is actually rather high, believe it or not. Oh, let's look at some of their significant wins. In Beneil Dariush's spot, he has wins against Tony Ferguson. Both of them have a win against Diego Ferreira. Both of them have a win against Scott Holtzman. And then Beneil Dariush has a win against Drakkar Klose. Man, that's a famous one where the memes come from with Drogan and DC and Felt and Onik. Good fight, by the way, really good fight. Now, and then for Mateusz Gamrot, he has honestly the best win here. A guy I've been talking about non-stop in these, Arman Tsarukyan. Granted, though, that was a split decision, which a lot of people could argue Mateusz lost. I can see that. I thought he won, but if you were to put a gun up to my head and tell me, say Arman won, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Arman won. Yeah. Put down the gun, man. And then he also has a win against, who the fuck is that guy? Jeremy Stephens, which is actually his most impressive win, because he eliminated Jeremy Stephens. Oh my god. Like, let's talk about that briefly. Jeremy Stephens, not that good. Let's be honest here, not that good. Look at that. But regardless of how you feel about Jeremy Stephens, he got finished by Cater. Cater's the top guy. He got finished by Yair in a no contest. I forgot about that, actually. But point is, he's not easy to take away unless you're elite. If you're elite, you'll take him away, but otherwise, he's tough. He's tough. Gamrot did it the best, though. Gamrot annihilated him. Mateusz annihilated him. Wasn't even a question. But it's not a super huge win. Like, honestly, Tony Ferguson for Beneil, or both of them winning over Diego Ferreira, is much better of a win. Regardless, let's get into how I feel about both of these guys. Beneil Dariush, I'm not as high on him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's been pretty overrated. He's good. He's good. He's definitely like top 10 worthy. But he beat Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson at that point was just not himself. The damage he took from Gaethje, any win after on Ferguson after the Gaethje fight, I don't feel is as valid. I don't. Even for Oliveira. Granted, Oliveira circumvented that with amazing wins over Gaethje, Dustin, Chandler. Never gonna discredit him for those. But I don't think Beneil Dariush, how he fought Ferguson, was all that. He had a really good heel hook submission. And Tony, of course, is a psychopath and would never tap. But that's it. That's it. Otherwise, he just out wrestled him. Big whoop. Nothing special there. His wrestling, it's not even like it's that amazing compared to someone like Mateusz. Mateusz out wrestling Arman Tsarukyan, who wrestled on par with Islam. That right there is a big boon. That's something to be proud of. That's something to hold in very high regard. Beneil Dariush, I feel, has a striking advantage, but not by a huge margin. But wrestling, I'm giving it to Mateusz. I'm giving it to Mateusz by far. His wrestling is so good. If you've never watched the Arman Tsarukyan fight against him, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's not flashy, super striking, exciting, but it's got everything. It's got striking, it's got submission attempts, it's got takedowns, it's got wrestling. That is one of the most highest skilled matchups I've seen in the lightweight division. And it was versus such low top 15 ranked guys. But it was so good, and it just showed that, like I said, Mateusz, Arman, they're the future of the lightweight division, along with guys like Islam. I feel Oliveira is going to get phased out eventually. Even if he does beat Islam, he's going to retire after like a couple of years. Mateusz, no. But what Beneil Dariush does have is he does have the veteran experience. Now, if you look at it, they have a similar number of fights, but for Mateusz, those fights weren't in the UFC. They're not as higher caliber opponents as people like Beneil Dariush have been fighting. These are all the fights he's had in UFC. Also like to mention that fight against Kutateladze, Dana, the press, everyone, including Kutateladze, said that Gamrot should have won that. If you go back and watch that, yeah, he should have won that. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a robbery. That was a robbery. What do I feel now Mateusz has? Mateusz, while he doesn't have elite level striking, neither does Dariush. Dariush just has an advantage in striking, but they're on the same caliber tier. He's just more accurate. What I'm gonna give to Mateusz though is wrestling and submissions. By far. Yes. Dariush has more submissions. But the way he gets them is not on the same level as Mateusz. Mateusz's wrestling, I feel, is going to be the main benefit. I feel he's going to take Beneil Dariush out, and we're going to see that he's not as good as we thought. What is going to be my official prediction for this? I feel it's going to start out on the feet. Beneil's going to get some success. We did see Mateusz was dropped by Arman with a beautiful spinning back fist. Beneil Dariush has those too. But then I feel Mateusz is going to go for some of his crazy takedowns. He's going to go for a blast single leg, which I've seen him do, which is insane. Not get it. Pull Beneil Dariush off the fence and go for some crazy submission or crazy takedown where he ends up on the bottom, and then he's just going to take him out. We've seen this again in the Arman Tsarukyan fight. We saw some of those crazy scrambles, some of those crazy takedowns. It was very impressive. We saw against Holtzman, his striking was not that bad. Like, his striking was about to set him up for a takedown, but he ended up just knocking him out. So he's got some power to him. He's got some power, and we've seen Beneil Dariush. We've seen him knocked out by Edson Barboza. Perfectly timed flying knee right as he went in for a takedown. You can't go with them sloppy takedowns against a guy like, oh my god, it's in 2017. You can't go for those sloppy takedowns against someone like Mateusz. So there's a little bit of favoritism, like I said, because he is a fellow Polski, and I love Mateusz Gamrot for that. But I do think he's a real deal. I'm going to call second round submission for Mateusz Gamrot. That's going to be my official prediction. let me know what you guys think in the comments about this fight, and if this is the fight you're most excited for, or what fight you are most excited for. This has been Gomi. Bye-bye.